In this video I'm going to be showing how to connect a PS4 to a TV. So to start off with, here's your PS4. The first thing that needs to be put in is the power cable. This cable here. Not that cable. That one. So it needs to be plugged into the back. Like so. Here. And now once it's plugged into the back, you take the plug and it wants to go into the plug socket. This supplies power to the PS4, and without it the PS4 is not going to be able to do anything because it needs electricity to work. Now you've got that in, the next thing you're going to need is the HDMI connection to connect the PS4 to the computer, which allows them to communicate together. So to do this we need the HDMI cable, and it wants to be plugged in here. And once it's plugged in, you then want to take the other end and plug it into the back of the TV. Now that it's connected, we can test that it works, because we can now press the power button on the PS4 and it should come up on the TV, which it has done. Now at this stage you need to control the PS4 with, so you need to connect a controller. Now my controller is already connected, but to do it for the first time all you need to do is plug in the charger in the USB port for the controller, and then simply connect the controller to the charger in the back. Now that's done, all you need to do, as it says on the screen, is press the PS button on the controller. At this stage you would usually connect a account, so sign in. Mine's already connected because I've already got the PS4 active, and all I have to do is select that account and we're now ready. Now the PS4 is playable, so any games you already got installed are now able to be played, and you can continue working on anything you want to. But you're only able to do so in offline mode. So if you want to go online, maybe if you've got a download for a game that's online, or you want to play with some friends, you need to connect the Ethernet cable. I've already connected mine into the Ethernet port, which connects into the wall, which is my internet connection, and this wants to plug in just at the back here. Once that's connected, it will tell you that we are now connected to the internet, and now you're all set to go. The next step is to look for really what is your own personal preferences and settings. This isn't necessary, but you can go through and change whatever you like. So if you want to change any of the sound settings, you can go in and change maybe the speakers or anything like that, and you can change anything you'd like on the settings in the options menus, including how long it takes for the PS4 or all the controllers before they switch off if they're not being used. And all of this is very easy to change in the settings, and everything tells you what it does. Next, we're going to show you how to install a game. So if we take a game, first thing we need to do is take out the disc. Now, we need to check there are no games in there by ejecting. I, in this case, do have a game in. You can't put another one in, it's taking up the room already. So you move that one out of the way. And now you want to insert your disc. Now, with the PS4, now it's been inserted, the game will automatically begin to install. this is a feature of the PS4. In other ones, you'll actually have to go and click on the game to actually begin the install. But it already begins it itself, and depending on how long the game is, how much data needs to be transferred for the game, it can take varying amounts of times. This one was a fairly short one. And now we're ready to play the game. So if we select the game, it'll take us in. And then we'll go through the first stages of the game. On other consoles, such as the PS3 and other consoles, at this stage we may end up with another download, but with the PS4 it's not the case, as all the downloads that are for the game are actually just in the background. The only ones that aren't are the updates for the game, but they are also done in the background, so you may not necessarily even notice they're going on, but it will do it for you. This can be changed in the settings, so it'll only be done manually, but in my case I prefer it to do it automatically, so that I don't have to do some just before I want to play, as it saves time. Now this is the first configurations for the game. So this game wants us to choose our language, so we can choose any language we like. We're going to stick with UK English because that is the only language I know. And now it's asking us to change the screen size, so adjust for our screen depending on how large our screen is, so that we're not going to get anything outside of the area. So about as large as how I like my screen, and then we'll continue. And now it's asking us to change any of the options that we might want to. So if you want to change the brightness, we can adjust so that it's barely visible on the left image. So I want mine fairly bright because I'm not particularly great at seeing them. Then we can go back and we can change audio options, or language, camera, or even accessibility. The camera controls are one key one because there are a lot of people who like to have their controls inverted. Some games it's necessary if you prefer them in standard format, but most of the time you just want to continue with the game. Now we're at the menu start, so we can press any button and we can bring to start. This is our main menu, so you can go back to options and change anything now as well. Also shows there's credits and other things for the game. If you want to start a new game, press story and play a new game or load a game. I don't have a game already played, as I've only just installed the game, so at this point we'll choose a level of difficulty and we'll go for moderate, and then there are some more settings for it. The lock on, aim, the camera assist and vehicle assist cameras. The lock on aim will snap to target enemies and things like that, and these are only options for actual gameplay to make the game a little bit easier. I'm going to keep them all off. I don't want to have any assist for the game. I like a challenge. So we're now able to go into the game and it'll start the actual game going. Now we just choose our save file. Just going to begin saving the game onto a slot, and now we just get a quick loading time, which again is fairly quick to say. It's a console game that is a fairly large game. This is due to the upgrades that have been made to the PS4 compared to the PS3, which my internet connection has taken games a good 2 hours to download games before, but PS4 does tend to keep the load times quite far down. This game does have the advantage that it's all offline stuff. If I want any multiplayer stuff, it may take a lot longer to load, but the offline stuff does tend to take less time. You can as well quit to the menu at any point. This will stop the load and you'll have to do the whole thing again, but it's in case you decide you don't want to play the game, or if you need to leave quickly. But yeah, you will have to do the load again from the beginning, because it won't have managed to do it. But it is always an option if you need it. Now we just load into the game. Which again, shouldn't take too long. It's just a standard loading screen. And now we're into a cutscene for the very beginning of the game. So this is the start of the game. The cutscene gets us in. You can pause it using the options button on the controller, and then we can scroll through and still pick things such as saving the game, restarting checkpoint, or quitting to the menu. These are all still available. They'll be available throughout the entire game. It also gives you the opportunity to use the options. You can skip the movie as well, or replay the cinematic, but the options are also editable here. Once I've skipped the movie, we should be into the game. It will take a little bit to load because it's just finding where we need to be. But once it's loaded, we should now be at a point where we're able to start playing the first level of the game. Of course, most of the time you'll probably want to watch the cutscene. It's the start of the game, and seeing it's a game you've already installed, you may want to watch it as well. But for the sake of the video, we'll skip through it. A little bit stuck on the loading. There we go, and I'm into the game, and I can start controlling things. And this is the very start of the game. At this point I'm going to show you... Okay, so my camera's been a little bit annoying and has cut out, but what I was going to show you was if you go into the options menu and you select quit to main menu, it will take us back here. We can press any button and it will take us back in, and we can start a new game, load a game. But if you want to actually get out of the game now with PS4, there's a little bit of a difference. We have to click on the PS button to take us back, and then if we press the options button and close application, that will close the actual game properly. And now we need to turn off the power. To do that, we actually have to go into the power options and switch to turn off PS4 to turn off the system properly. And that concludes everything with setting up and installing the game onto the PS4.